Hey, good to see you all. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to leave it a few seconds. Now, you remember the homework I gave you last week? Is anybody new? Is anybody not attended from last? Hi, Jackie. Lovely, good. All right. Last week, I don't know if anybody's new here that was not at last week's live, because I set sort of a little bit of homework. It wasn't much. If you didn't do it, then it doesn't matter. You could just use you could just make something up for now and then get back to it, because I'm going to share a PDF which I shared last time, but this one it's covering next week's stuff. So what we're going to do, I think that's it. Should all be in. Right, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to run over, we're going to add all the things that we did last time. Okay, so the homework that I gave you, which is like the title of the course, the subtitle, the description, and we're basically going to build the course out. So in the new PDF, it's going to cover what we're going to do next week. So it'll make it easy for you to follow. So the first part, we're actually going to do stuff that we said in the last PDF. And then I'm going to basically run over all of the things that are in this week's kind of homework, so you get an understanding of it. So I've got a separate course set up for that. So if you were not here last week, I'm going to share my screen now. And there we go. So what you're going to find here is at tutorials.newzenler.com. If you're part of the NZ Masterclass bundle, which you probably all are, if you're not, enroll. But what you want to do is, if you weren't in last week's one, you want to go to live workshops, because all of these live workshops that we're doing all appear in there. So if you jump into the NZ Masterclass bundle, you're going to see down here right at the bottom, you've got this live workshops. And if you click that, open it up, you're going to find that I will add this workshop under here. So this is the first one that we did last week, which is a quick tour. And inside there, you'll also get access to the PDF. In all of them, I'm giving out a PDF that's updated each week. So you can have a look at that. These are other workshops that we've done for you guys that have already been on them. So they're in there. And this is the place to go if you want to just catch up on what we're doing. You're trying to catch up because you're trying to join in. So because I realize that some people are going to be new on this. All right, let's have a look at what we've got and what we asked you to do last week. So I'm just going to open the PDF up. I'm going to have a quick look before we get started. All right. So, all right. Okay, so course creation. This is an overview of the workshops we'll be doing. We are on this part now, so we're in the second workshop in. And the next workshop that we do will sort of finish off how we see the course creation going. And then we get deeper with it in section 4, week 4, and then pricing, membership. Again, we get deeper in advanced course ideas, and then a Q&A, hopefully a look at some of your sites as well. And lots of questions in this one. So it's going to be quite, make sure that you attend this one, okay? If you have to catch up with the others, but this one's going to be vital because you can actually ask questions and we can go through things. So it's going to be really good for you. So this is what I asked you to do last week, and that was think of a name for your course. If you're doing a membership site, you're probably going to have a module in it, so it'll be a course anyway, so you'll think of a name for that. We're going to get on to memberships in other workshops. So we've also got write a summary for your course as well, and start sourcing images. So hopefully you guys have kind of done a few of these things. Then you need the main body text for the course, some CTA and catchy, impactful words. Make sure you've watched the branding and design course, you know, just to give you an idea. It'll really help you out with things like colors and stuff, as you will see in a second when I show you another document that I've done. Next, we've got write any questions that you may have. So any questions you've got on this, write those out. This document I'm going to supply to you, because in next week's workshop, I know I'm jumping the gun a bit here, but next week's workshop is going to be our week 2. Sorry, this is our week 1, but this will be carried on to week 2. So these are things that we're going to be doing today. At the end, I'll be running through, and then you'll be able to kind of fill those out as you go. So I'm going to give you a link to this PDF to download, so you can check things off as you're working your way through them. And let me put that into the chat. So, and then I'll run through what I've done. We can get on with it. Okay, so in the chat is the download. There we go. So that's a zip file. It's just that PDF that you just looked at. So download that, and you can use that. You can print it out and then just check off what you've done. So hopefully that's working for you guys. If it's not, let me know on the chat, but it should be all right. All right, back into screen share. And we are going to look at what I've done for a course. So what I did here, you're going to notice there's a few things on here. Let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, so that's my download link. So my site name for this is, as you probably know because of the tutorials I've done, it's all like on surfing. So I'm actually getting it now into a position where I'm going to kind of start creating content for it. And I thought it was a really good idea to actually sort of show you as I'm working through things, because then you can see an actual case. And I'm actually going to use this same site, and I'm going to show you kind of later on down the line when I've got all my content together. I'm going to show you how I market it and how I'm starting to get traffic driven into it. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm going to use funnels and all sorts of things. So that's in the future. But what you can see here is I've put my site name down in there. Now I use this document to refer to it because it just saves me a lot of time. It tells me my colors. So from a branding point of view, it tells me all the colors that I've got that I'm using in my site, and which is very handy. So I don't have to be looking around every time. I've got the hexadecimal numbers here. By the way, these are web colors. When they have this little hash and then they have 6 digits, that is a reference color. It's basically pulling a color out. If you guys know about color, you've got RGB, like for screen monitors. You've got CMYK, which is print, okay? And there's others as well, but hexadecimal is for web. Okay, so it's made up with a hash and then a series of number. When you've got zeros like that, it means that everything's turned off, so it's color black. But you don't need to know about that. You can pick your color, put down your hexadecimal number, and you're done. So I've also put in here the font that I'm going to use. So I've got an Open Sans. I use Open Sans quite a lot because it's a nice modern font, and also it's got a lot of different variations. So you've got like a light version, a regular version, a bold version, bold italic. You've got extra bold. Gives you a lot of flexibility and stays in that. So I'm staying with that one font throughout, just to make my life easier. The footer. So I've got the colors here for the header area. Okay. And you'll see all this in the branding. So let me just jump to that and show you inside the site. So under the site, under branding, down here, Open Sans, you can see I've picked them in there. I don't know why that's reverted back to Roboto, shouldn't have. Open Sans, and then all these colors like header colors, see all in there, hexadecimal, and you can just click in here and just select your color, and you'll notice that that'll change, and that's what you can paste into the document. All right, so that's for the header, which is the very top of a web page, the footer being the very bottom. You guys are probably using the dynamic header and the dynamic footer. So that's the footer colors. So you'll see how it all ties up with my little document. And you guys that have done the branding, you can probably see I did that Williams song example, and I did the same sort of thing. I put my colors down. So I've got body colors down there, community theme color, community blog, same colors. So you can see how I've set all that out. So once you get all that done, then you're on a good a good start. Now, don't remember, you could change this later. So if you see a link and you put it in orange and you decide, oh, the site looks better, it's going in a kind of blue direction, you can change it later. So don't worry too much about it. Obviously, I put my logo in. Now, it doesn't look like I've got a logo, but it's actually a PNG file. So it's white on white, so you can't see it. The actual site, it shows. So I've got my fav icon in there as well, 512 by 512. So looking at my document now, I'm going to move through this. So these are where I'm telling myself things like the spacing, that's between block areas. I'm putting in there a bit of extra information. I've got it at 93 pixels top and bottom. That'll make sense later when we design the sales page. So I've put some thoughts down on here as well. It's basically everything to do with the course and the site. And I've put some ideas, like I've got this idea for the surf thing is like beginners. It's a bit like skiing where you've got green runs, blue runs, red ones, and black runs. So I'm kind of turning that and making it into a surfy thing. So green is for beginners, blue is intermediate, beginner, intermediate, red's intermediate, advanced, and then black is advanced. So that's my color theory behind it. So relating to surf, just so that you know. Bit of extra information. So then we break into the course. So this is a beginner level course. So the title is Beginner Level in Surfing, or Beginner's Guide to Surfing. Then I've got my subtitle and I've got my sort of call to actions. So these are kind of words that I'm going to use to catch people and put things in there. And I've got my summary down here. I've got my intro text. So this is my main text really down here. I've thought about the course price. It's a one-off price at the moment of £50. And I've got ideas down here, possible freebies, might include a t-shirt, might include a wax with it for the board. I'm negotiating discounts through a board manufacturer, a board shop, to actually give people extra incentives to join. They then get this discount. So that's what I'm trying to sort out for the later. And I've also put in here future courses. So I've got all these ideas for different courses. So you can see I've got, it's not too long. It probably took me about, I don't know, an hour to sort of put this together. And now it gives me a very good direction of where I'm going. So we're not just jumping in creating a course. We're just laying some foundations so that it's much smoother for us to move into course creation and have a plan. It's key to have a plan. Moving forwards, when we start doing the things like the membership site, it's going to be even more important, because if you're thinking membership site, but what am I going to put in there? Am I going to have a membership site with 3 courses in there? But what about those 3 courses? Can I sell them separate as well? So all this kind of thinking you need to get down on paper. It really helps you. If you have an idea, put it down. That's what I suggest. So this is what we're working from, this sheet here. And I also have something else for the curriculum, but I'll show you that later. So, guys, if you have not created a course before, you're going to get this come up here. It just says no course is created yet, create a course, all right? So I've created a course in there. It's a demo course because I want to show you some of next week's stuff. So you need to log into your admin of your site. You need to go to courses, and then you need to click the create new course. So at this point, we're going to create the course. All right. So if you guys got any pen and paper, do you want to ask any questions? I'm going to stop this before we jump into it. I'm going to open up the chat, so you can unmute yourself. So if you've got any quick questions on what we've already spoken about, now's your time to shout out.
David, it's John.
Hi, John.
What you just showed us, that very useful list of your thoughts and so on, that's part of the download, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But you can see, I just, if you look at that PDF, you can see in there, I've put exactly what you need to put down.
Okay,
you can put more information. It doesn't stop you. Anything you can think of that could be useful is good. The point of it is to get it written down, to get it into a document that you can see. And you'll notice that I was using I'm using WordPad or Notepad on PC. So it's unformatted, because I do not want to use things like Word, because you can take some of the formatting, if you copy and paste it, which a lot of you guys will, straight into the platform, you can have potential problems. So it's in a plain text editor, like WordPad for PC. You can use Notepad, even better. And I think Mac's got a version, Text Edit, I think it's called.
The reason I asked about downloading that is because I really believe in templates and just putting stuff down and then go and change it later on. So what you've got there would serve as a very good starting point, which we can then go and edit.
All right. All right. No, that's a good idea. Okay. What I'll do is on the replay page that will be emailed out, I'll do a template in there.
Yeah.
So like the template you've got there, you'll have a template on how to sort of what you should put in there. So it'd just be like, you know, lines, so you can just fill out your details, maybe with an example like I've just done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good point, John. Great. All right. Hi, Jackie.
Got a question.
Hi, David. Even I have a question, and can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm Priyanka from India, and I have created the course already, but I'm finding certain difficulty when I'm uploading the quiz. So there, when I'm uploading, it's not being reflected, and the children have to pass on to the other one. So that is not being reflected, the quiz part. I'm facing a difficulty.
Sorry, Priyanka, I've got to kind of stop you there. We can't go off topic. It's really important that we just stick with what we're doing at the moment, because you could open up tons of questions. This is purely about what we've said now. So do you understand that you've got to do a title for the course? Do you see how I laid out all my colors and things like that? When we're talking about uploading media and stuff like that, then that will be later in the Q&A sessions, because obviously we could go off in all sorts of tangents and I'll be here for like 4 hours. So let's stay on topic, and we can get back to that. Or if you're having problem with the quiz function, it's not working as you expect it, then send that an email to support@zenler.com. Hopefully that sorted it. Okay, Jackie.
Yeah, thanks, David. First of all, so much. All this has been so awesome. I've been watching all of your tutorials. Incredible. Really appreciate it. My question is, when we're doing this, people who are viewing our site, can they see what I'm working on when I'm developing this course, or is this, how can I be sure that this is private?
Yeah, really good question. Okay, so until your course is published, it is private. Okay. So we'll be working with best practices for that. There is going to always be a point where you do publish and test as a student. So then it could be public. You can turn, if you don't want it to show in search engine results, you can turn off the SEO function inside it. You can also test very quickly and then unpublish the course to cover yourself. But there's going to be a point where you do publish the test, and there is the chance. I mean, I've never ever had it happen where I've just published it and then I've got a flurry of signups. Yeah, there is that thing. But while we're working on it now, it's not going to be published. Does that help?
Thank you very much.
Good. You'll see. Carrie. Hi, Carrie. I can't hear you. It's showing that your microphone's on, but I can't hear you. Do you want to put it into the chat? Right, any other questions while we're here? No, we're all good. All right, Carrie, put that into the chat and we'll jump back to it. John, can you monitor like you normally do? Keep an eye on that chat so I don't miss it. Right. Okay, let's get into this. I'll show you the site and show you what we're doing. Okay. So right, the site I've got that we're working on is surf-dos.com. So this is a site. What I've done here is I basically got rid of all the dynamic blocks in the page editor. I've just gone in there and removed the courses because I don't want people to access any course. There's no courses there, so why show it on the page? A lot of people leave that in there and they don't have any courses in there. So I remove it. So you can just go in there, hit the little bin icon, because you can put it back later. We will be putting it back later. So this means that this site is nice and clean now. And the only thing I've got in here is a register for launch, which is basically a sign up button. So if you click this button here, you're going to go straight through to the sign up. So I can gather leads. It's not going through for me because I'm logged in. But if I go to incognito mode and I click here, then it's going to take me to sign up. So I'm not missing any potential signups. You know, if there's someone visited the site, and even though I've got no courses created yet, I don't want to lose them. If they're interested and they've got nothing to sign up, they're probably going to forget about your site, never coming back. So if they think, oh, it hasn't launched yet, but it's going too soon, you could put more text on there, then put, you know, connect it up to the sign up. That way you can get them to go in there and they'll drop in there as leads, and you can email them then when it's done. So always connect it up. So that's the site. So that's what I've done this. So you'll notice no courses in there, not even any menu items. The only reason community is showing is because I'm logged in. Okay. So terms and conditions, cookie, privacy policy, they're all in there, but there's nothing else on the page. So we're starting fresh. All right, so jump back to here. We're going to start to create our course, and we're going to use that document to actually work our way through it. So let's go create course. So I've got my course. I'm going to go to my little document here, and oh, that's the wrong one. That's for later. And I'm going to start to just copy and paste my stuff across. Notice it's WordPad. So I'm going to go and find the course, and then I can copy this back. I'm actually going to probably rename this, but so go in here. And let's take the subtitle now. So we are now building our course, and I'm going to go into the summary and that. And you can change all of this stuff, okay, later if you want to, so there's no problem. And click create course. Right, so what happens when you create a course? It takes you straight to the curriculum page. Now, if you remember last time, I said to you, we can sort of build a skeleton curriculum. You don't need to have anything in it. So with that in mind, I'm going to start to build out a curriculum. I'm going to show you another sheet that I've done, which is my curriculum planner sheet. You'll notice I really like to overplan things. I'm really on it with that sort of thing. So this is what I've done. This actually relates to content that I'll be showing you later, because I've got a folder structure with all my content. And this is what I've named the modules. So like module 1 is getting started. Then I've got module 2. And I've got module 3. So I can start to put those in there, even though I haven't put any content in there. I can start to put them in there to start us on the road to seeing things. So I'm going to take this first one, and I'm going to, and I know I didn't mention that to you in the PDF thing, but you can just put in there module 1, module 2, and then later on you can refine it with next week's stuff. So now I've done that, I'm going to click save. That's created one section. Okay, I'm going to create a new section. Going to come over here. I'm going to grab this second module, put that in there, save it, and module 3 there. So that's all I've done at this point. So let's add that. Okay. So those 3 are in there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a lesson to it. Now, it doesn't matter about, at this point, it doesn't matter about the content. So, because I realize, you know, I can say, oh, course creation, we can do this here over 2 weekends. The thing is, with any course creation, you know, the longest bit is actually getting all your information together, you know, recording your videos, doing your podcast, whatever you guys are doing, your PowerPoint presentations, and that can take months. You know, so obviously you probably haven't got all that stuff at hand, if you have, brilliant, you can start putting it in. So what we can do is we can actually just set it up to put that stuff in there later. And that's why I really like to sort of build this kind of skeleton curriculum to get me started. Sometimes I don't bother filling it after this point. It's just a thing to get me on that road. I know now that the first section is all about getting started. I know the second module is all about heading into the water. And I know that this is when you're actually in the water itself. So that's enough for me to pick up and produce videos and start adding them to the course. So this is how I work. People work differently. So I'm going to take this first one here, I'm going to copy it, and we're just going to create a lesson. So I'm going to this time create a lesson. So I'm going to add a lesson here. There's nothing in there. I'm going to drop this in here, and I'm going to save. So, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add a new lesson here, and we're going to carry on like this. So this is a PDF, and put that in there. So I'm building the framework of my course already with no content in there. This is the key. There we go. So let me just, so you can see I can put this framework together really quickly, and I haven't added any of the media types yet that we're going to go over. That is one more. Okay, so I've got a framework now. It's got no content in there, but I've built my framework. I've got, just like my other document, I've got a little document here that gives you a list. And John, yeah, I will do something like this so that you can work your curriculum into there as well. So I'll put that in the PDF. So I'm finished with that now. So next thing, curriculum. Obviously, curriculum is where you put all your videos, audio, PowerPoint presentation, PDF, text, custom, downloads, quiz, surveys, SCORM, HTML, assignments. They can all go into these lessons. You can put multiple ones in there. So if you're in a lesson, you could add a video, you could add a PowerPoint, you could add an audio, and they would appear underneath each other. And you can also drag them around as well. So we've got full use of all those media types. You're also going to see up here, and it's worth touching on these things, that you can enable free preview. Now, what I do for generally in my courses is when the first video of the section or the module, I always enable it as a free preview, because what it is just an explanation of that particular area. So I don't mind if people don't want to sign up, but they just want to look at the video. That's fine. They're not getting any content. They're just getting told about the content that's in the video. So I always make the first one a free. I always enable that as free. Now, if you're working on something, Jackie, this is for you, and you've published the course, but you don't want people to see it. So you've put content in here, but you don't want people to see it. You can set it on draft, so they will not see it if they're in the course. You can also set it as compulsory. It means they've got to go through that video. They can't jump it. Yeah. A lot of people have said, like with videos, yeah, but when they see videos, they don't watch it all and they can still move forwards. That's true, but they can't jump it. Yeah. So that's compulsory there. You'll also see on assignments now, we've got compulsory. So you can approve things before people move forwards through the course. You can also enable discussions for each of the lessons as well. Okay. So that's all there is in there. And we've got this little question mark, and that gives you information on what those things are inside there. So we're going to add some content later. That's for next week. Our main objective here now is to start to look at the pages. Okay. So by default, when you create a course, you'll get set pages set up. And for you guys that have done funnels inside here, or even lives, you'll notice that there's kind of this look of a funnel. And this is the flow through. So people are on the sales page where you're trying to get them to move to the next step. They click the button to buy. They then go to the checkout page where they put their card details in and they send you money. And then after that point, once it's approved, then the user will go to the thank you page, and then they'll get access to the course access page. Now, really, really important, unless they have bought the course, they will not get access to the course access page. This is the only page that's completely private. All of the other pages are searchable. So if Google picks it up and shows that page, people can go through to it. So they could go through to the thank you page, they could go through to the checkout page or the sales page, but they cannot, unless they bought it, gone through to the course access page. All right, this is key for later. So this is a private page and it can only be seen in there. Ali, can you turn off the scribble thing? Hold on, let me just do this. I didn't turn annotations off, so someone scribbled. Okay, right, so yeah, so course access page is private. You can't get access to that. So this is key. You've got to remember this, because it's really going to come into play later when we start working with multiple courses and those courses in a bundle and for membership sites. This is going to be the key thing to remember. Course access page, unless they bought it or you've added them, they cannot get access to this page. So it's completely private. Also, until we publish the page, it cannot be, you cannot actually see the page. Okay, so let me just turn that off. So publishing the course is there. Okay,
David, there's a question from Linda about if you shared the link to that page, would people be able to see it? My presumption
course access
is
page.
Yes.
The,
The course access page.
No,
yeah.
Not unless they're actually in the course.
So even if you give them that link, but they have not signed up for that course, they won't be able to see it. Is that what you're saying?
If they've signed up for the course and they bought,
No.
they're a member, yeah, they will be able to.
No, they have not signed up for the course,
No.
but you just given them the link. Okay.
No, it's completely private. The only people that can see the course access page, and it's worth dwelling on this because it's a key thing. A lot of people don't understand that. They share links to the course access page, and well, they can't get access because no one's bought it. So they have to have bought it, even if it's free. They can't get access unless they've signed up. So you can't send it out as a link. Generally, as a link. Oh yeah, check out my course. Come into my course and see it. No, they'll be blocked. They can't get in there.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
David, can I ask a question?
Sorry, I'm not taking questions at the moment because I need to run through.
Okay.
This. Got quite a lot to go through. Stay with me, guys. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end of this part. So what we need to do now is we need to start styling our pages, because obviously we've done all that content inside our document, and we've got to start to put it into our sales page and make our sales page look cool. So let's go in there. All you need to do for the first page, which is a sales page, is come in and hit this edit button. I'm not going to go overboard with, I'd suggest you spend quite a lot of time, get the page perfect. I'm going to be running through this really quick because it is a workshop. And if you look in the live workshop sessions that I've done, I covered page builder in there in the top 2. So there's a lot of information in that. Plus you can always use the complete guide to Zenler as well. So in here we have this stuff. A lot of this stuff I do remove because I prefer to set my own up. But we have buttons. This is a page. This is default. They've put a video in there for me already. Well, it's not a video. It's just a placeholder. And they set this up. But you can go in all these areas and you can remove it. You'll also notice that the title has been put in there, beginner level in surfing. Now, this is a dynamic block. Okay. So it's taken it from the name of the course title. Okay, so if you change the course title, that page will be updated if it's got a dynamic block in it. Okay, and the same for this as well. This is a dynamic block for the course subtitle, so it puts that in there as well. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to use that. You could call it beginner's level in surfing, and then when they're actually in there, you could call it something completely different. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. So just to understand that. So inside this block, we have, as usual, page builder stuff. So we can go in here and start adding things. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got for this page, because what I do as part of creating courses, I always make sure that I have a promotional video about the course. This is the sales page. Remember, this is a page that we're giving out to people, so you want to hook people in. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you my folder structure here. Some of this won't apply to you because I like things like that. But the thing that I do here is I have my curriculum, which you've seen. I've got my big lot of information about the actual course itself. Obviously, we've got the live workshop thing to go through. I have a folder with all my assets in. So I have these different assets that I've created here that I'm going to use for different sections. So for the beginner section, it's going to be green. Remember I was telling you about that color, green. So that's what I'm going to use for the course image. And I've also got some surfing images. I actually took these this morning at our local beach. So I've got them there for reference if I want to, or I can use Pixabay, doesn't matter. So that's always a thing I do, is create a folder that normally says assets. Okay. I'm moving into the course lessons themselves. In here, I have generic assets. So these are like background things for stuff. And I have all my curriculum. So remember, in that curriculum thing, I had module 1. Well, that ties up with my videos and my PDFs that are in here. So everything's really organized. Everything matches across. I know, oh, I can go to Beginner's Guide to Surfing. I can go into module 1. I can pick that one, drop it in there. No problem. So it makes it very easy. But you also see I've got a folder in here called promotional. Now inside here is my promo video for the course. So I can drop this. So this promo video, I'm going to put into here. So I'm going to click the gear icon and I can come over to the settings over here. This is a video block, by the way. I can come into here, click that little thing, upload a video, and I've actually already uploaded it. So I'd select it in here and then it would appear in here and I would click it. For some reasons, it's not appeared in there. There we go. And save. I probably want to change that that screen. When you do save the page, the first box you're going to get up is called SEO settings. Okay, we're going to talk about this later. So at this point, I'm going to just say done. Okay, but we're going to be talking about that later because that's in next week's workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and just start to style this page out. So I'm hitting the settings in here and I'm going to go and grab a nice image there. Maybe I'll put a little bit of an overlay here. Remember, this is a green course. So I should be looking at green. Oh, that's a bit much. Let's do something like that. Yeah. So obviously you'd spend a bit of time here. I'm also going to change the color of this and the color of this and the size to about 30, you know, something like that. So straight away, you're starting to build the page out. Now, down here in this second block, you're going to have course summary. And this is the course summary. It's actually taken that summary from the page. It's not a dynamic block, but it's actually put that text in there. So you could go in and edit that text. I'm going to put in my full text on this. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to go about course. And then I'm going to go and open up my little document. Let's put that there. That. And copy that. Jump back. And I'm going to put that in there. That. Of course, you know, you'd style it better than this, just to get you started. That'll do for now. So the next block underneath that, we've got course curriculum. I also noticed the button is in black, the highlights, that's from the branding. Yeah, just so you know. A lot of people say, oh, why is that color? But you can override it. If you clicked in here and you clicked here, you could go in here and override it. So be careful of that. Next thing we've got is the course curriculum. So in here, we have the course curriculum. Again, this is a dynamic block. Okay. Now, all of these areas, we set these up so it has things like the title, the subtitle, and there's a video block in there. But all of these things you can delete out. And later on, with the course curriculum in particular, we're not going to be using the course curriculum for a membership site. We're actually going to bypass it. So what we're actually going to do is we're just going to delete it all out. So more about that later, but that's what's going to happen. So you can see there, this is the default way that it builds the page. So some of this information like this, I don't want because this is for my other site. And I'm going to just delete that out there. And I don't want this little guy here because it's not true. So I'm going to get rid of him. And the next thing we've got down here is course pricing. Now, no course pricing has appeared because we haven't given it a price. But as soon as we do, a blocker will appear in there. So this, in essence, this is a page done. Okay, I've got my information in there, but you can spend a lot of time making it look really good. All right, but that's the basics. So let's just save that out and move to our next page. So a couple of ways to move through the pages, guys. You've got this thing here where you can just click, or you can go back to here and you can click edit in there if you want to. So it's really up to you how you want to work with it. So I'm going to go into the checkout page now and just do some modifications in there and move through it. So really at this stage, like creating the course itself is one click of the button, then you just fill out those areas, and then it's all just using the page builder. So you can spend as long as you like, just making it look really nice. And you know, like you've seen with me, I've set it out so that I'm working to a kind of color scheme of green. That image wasn't working with that, but it doesn't matter at the moment. So this is a checkout page. Again, this is a dynamic block in here, and it says you haven't set up any pricing plans. We haven't, so there's nothing going to appear in there. But one thing for sure, I don't want these boxes, so I'm going to just delete them out now and just get it all ready. I don't want to offer a money back guarantee, so I'm going to delete that out, and then I'm just going to save it. Again, you've got the option and you've got the SEO come up. I'm just going to click done to that for now. Remember, you've also got the option to change all of these using the gear icon. You can add images in here if you want to, and colors and whatever you like. So when you're finished like formatting that, then move on to the next page, which is the thank you page. So this is after they bought everything. They've then gone through to the thank you page. And the final page would be the course access page. So there we go. We've got a simple thank you. All of these are editable, so you could change these if you want to. You could also put different colors or images in here if you wanted to as well. Let's just put that image in there. So something like that, click save, and it's done. Again, the SEO comes up, done. Okay, so we've done all of the pages now, apart from probably the most important page, which is the course access page. Well, I guess the checkout page is the most important, really. You want the money. So let's go to course access page. And what we're going to get in this page is the curriculum. So they can start the curriculum, start working their way through it. So again, it's built with the page builder. So you can add blocks in there, use templated blocks that we've already got and just change the look of it. You might want to put links to PDFs in there as well. This is by default, this block, but really easy. I can change the look of it so quick just by adding something like a call to action. You know, I could put something in there, drop the block in. Again, all using page builder, and you could change all this around, do what you like in there. But by default, it gives you a course progress here. So the student will work their way through and it will sign off across here. And also we have our curriculum with the start button down here that allows them to work for you. Also, we've got a review block in there. You can keep this in there or you can remove it. It's basically when a student visits that, they can actually submit a review to it. Now, as well as doing all these pages that we've worked through, these 4, you can also preview the site at any time. Remember, the site is not published. So we can click preview here. It's going to ask you to save it if you haven't saved it. And let's just save it and hit preview. And this is a preview of what it looks like, that page. Okay. So if I shut that down, I can go to another page and I can preview it in here. I find it's quicker to actually preview the page in the course pages, because otherwise you're waiting for the page builder to load, which is good because you can make changes while you're in there. But if you're just previewing what you've done, then it's quicker to just jump to the page here. But if I hit preview now in there, this will give you a preview of what people will see. You'll also see it says here, this course is not open for enrollments. Why? Because we've got no pricing. Okay. So because we've got no pricing, lots of these things are going to remain empty, such as the course pricing and these sort of things. So I'll add a pricing, I'll add a one-off payment pricing to this, but I'll show you all the other different pricing plans as well as we move forwards. All right, so I'm going to close that down and we're going to jump back in there. I'm going to close that down. Let me just close this, just get a bit organized. Okay. So we've done the pages. So obviously you're using Page Builder to build those pages. These are set default blocks that you can remove, add new ones, modify it. The only page I would say do not remove the dynamic blocks for is the checkout page. Okay. You cannot, otherwise you're going to have problems because that's the payment page. Now, some people have removed that and had problems. They've contacted support because it hasn't worked, because they've put forms in there and things, it just doesn't work. So be careful of that. Checkout page, be really sensitive with, because that's the money area. Okay, the rest of the pages you can move areas out, put new areas in. It's up to you. So with all these pages we have URLs, so you can copy the URL. So if, for instance, you do remove some of the buttons, such as the buy now button in the sales page, this button here, which has been made, if you wanted to delete this whole top block off and create your own and create a button, remember that that button should link to the next page. So the next page being the checkout page. Okay, so to get the link for that, all you need to do is copy URL there and it will be copied to your clipboard, and then you can paste it straight into where the button is. Yeah, it's just for you to know. We're going to be covering more of this stuff later in the workshops, but you can do it there. So we have this option in most of the pages, like funnels, inside lives. You can go into the media library and actually get the links there. So there's loads of ways to copy the URLs for media and pages within the site. And we'll look at that later, because we're going to be talking about how you could run a membership site with live workshops. So in that case, what we're going to be doing is we're taking the link from the live that we've created, and we'll be creating a button in there to that live. So we'll talk about that later. So there's more on that. Okay, so we've looked at the pages, we've looked at the curriculum, you understand we can build the structure and add media in there. Pages, use Page Builder so we can fill them out, make them look really cool. Course details is where we put the course title and the course subtitle. And remember that if we change that, if you've got the dynamic block inside the sales page, then that will change as well. Okay. If you haven't, then it won't. Okay. So be careful of that. But we've also got another thing in here. Underneath these course details, we have a few things that are down here that I just want to sort of cover. One is course progress screen between lessons. Now this is a little between each lesson, it tells you, it kind of marks off that you've completed that lesson. Now some people don't like that, so they want to turn it off, so that actually turns it off. You can also enable certificates. We're doing quite a big revamp on how certificates are made using .svg files, but we're actually doing some upgrades on that to make it better. But we have certificates in there. You can do it. I might run a workshop specifically on certificates, because we have to be careful about what systems we're using to do it. So I might run a workshop on that. So we can also make the course secret. So if you don't want the course to show, you can make it secret. Now, I will be showing you that later once we have created a few courses. When we start doing the membership section, I'll be actually showing you how to work, but how it works. But you basically can make it secret. So when you make it secret, the only people that can get to it are people that have got links, okay, to that page. So it doesn't actually appear in any of the blocks. This will be visually, you'll visually understand it when I actually show you. Next thing, we got make the course price hidden. So again, we got course price. The courses will be visible in your site, but the student needs to contact you to purchase the course. So this could be handy for you. You know, if you want to make the course price hidden and they've got to contact you, you could put a form on there and they could contact you. We've also got make courses featured. Now we've got two blocks. We've got courses block and we've got a featured courses block that we can put in there. So you can just put it into featured courses block. Next thing we've got is categories. So as I will show you in the next week's workshop, these are things to think about. Right, so categories, for instance, like if I've got, I run ZBrush courses, so I do some on anatomy, I do some on 3D printing, jewelry. So I categorize mine by putting it all into one. So I go ZBrush, and that contains all my courses. So that's one category. Then if it's a jewelry course that I'm doing, I put a category for ZBrush jewelry. And then if I'm doing the anatomy one, I'll have, again, ZBrush. So it comes into all of the ZBrush courses, and I'll have ZBrush anatomy. So thinking about categories and how they're going to work together to bunch products is a good thing if you're producing lots. If you're just on one subject, then maybe you don't need to. But it's like for the surfing one, if I did tons of different courses on beginners, like I had a beginners fitness, beginners surfing, whatever, I could put that into a beginner section, and I could have an intermediate, and I can have an advanced. It's up to you. So thinking about categories really is a good thing to do. And that's what I've put in here is point 5, which is, are you having courses by categories? So plan it, okay? You just think about it. Because if you go, you can organize it later, but it's easier if you just think about what you're doing now. So look at your subject, see if things are categorized. I know John works in different areas, so this is probably quite relevant to you, John, for this kind of stuff. Inside here as well, for next week, we've got SEO your pages, we've got course options, drip tiers. So these things are going to run through in a second. Just got to finish this little bit here. So next thing we've got is course card. So you're going to see a size in here. It says recommended image size 860 by 480. I always do my images, and I'll just show you. I do my images at HD size, and then I just crop them in here. That works for me. Now, where with these images, I never put text right up to the edge. It's always like about that far in. To about that far in. So I know that if I'm putting it into different areas in the site, I can crop it down manually. You know, it's definitely going to fit in those areas. So that's what I do. Or you could actually produce them out at the size that we've given you there. It's up to you. So that's what I do with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change this. So I'm actually going to put a course card in here. Now, remember, it's beginner level. So I want to make sure that I'm choosing the green one. So I'm going to click open. And it's going to come up like this. This is the crop. So this is the 860 by 490. So I can grab these edges, and I know this is HD size, but I know it's going to fit nicely like that. And I can click crop and save. And as if by magic, it's appeared. Okay. So that is how you can put the image in there. So we've done, so that's course details. We've filled out the course curriculum, basically. We've worked through the pages. Guys, spend a bit of time making your pages look really good, you know, because you can use them. You can reuse blocks. So like, for instance, if I was reusing this top block here, and this is for pro and premium users, I'm not sure if we've got any free users on the group. But if we have, I'll just show you a quick hack. So if you're reusing some of these pages, you can actually just clone the course. So that's one way of doing it. If you clone the course, then you just have to go in there, change all the curriculum, maybe change the text in there, but all of the blocks that you've maybe spent hours doing are still there. The other way is to create a brand new course and then just save these blocks out. So if I select this blue block, which contains this right the way down here, and I've spent hours doing it. I know I haven't, but if I had, I could come in here and I could save this. So, oh, I can't with that because it's a dynamic block. That's why dynamic blocks annoy me, because in a way, because you can't save them out. But if I'd have done it with this one here, I could save this block out. And then I could just put that back in. So the custom blocks that you've saved appear under blocks here. And if you scroll down to the bottom and clicked here, you're going to see any blocks. You notice that this was one from the home page. So I could reuse this. I could take this and I could drag it straight into there. And very quickly, I could have that image straight in there without doing any work, change the text, I could change the color, and bang, it's done. So that's a really good way of working with it. The other way that you can do it is if you're a free user, guys, you can click on the block and you can open up the little tab at the side and you can grab the code. So you can press Control A on the keyboard and you can press Control C, and you will have copied that. And then all you do in your new page is add a new block, an empty block. Let me go back. Let's go to empty block. Remember, I've copied that text. So now I'm going to drag an empty block into here. And I'm going to go over to the little HTML tag here. Okay. I'm going to select all, Control A. I'm going to delete it out, and I'm going to paste in Control V what I just pasted, what I just copied from there. And I'm going to click Save. And when we do that, we're going to get an identical block. So that's one way that you could do it. So you guys that are using free, you could go in there, copy the code, and then you could paste it into the pages that you need to. But you guys that got Pro and Premium, you can actually just save the block out, which saves you a lot of time working with these things. All right, good. All right, so let's move on quickly to this one here. So what we have is we have students. So if we click this little tab here, this will take you to any students that are on that course. Now I've got none in there, so it's not showing me anything. It also opens up in a new tab. So next one we've got here is automations. Now, I'm going to run through this because we're kind of now going into next week's stuff that we're going to be talking about. So automations is a way of sending emails out based on their enrollment. So if they've enrolled, if they've completed a course, if they've completed certain lessons, and you can set automation up for all of those things. So I'm going to cover that in a second. I'm just going to jump and make sure you guys are all happy with what we've done. And I'm also going to open up my little guide and make sure I've covered all the points in here. So we've done that. We've added the name. We've written the summary and added it. We've started sourcing images. We've added those. We go to main body copy, catchy CTAs. I haven't added any, but I can easily add them as a block and just put those in there. And you're going to see next week, I will have revamped that page. So I'll show you exactly what I've done. And then we go, make sure you've watched branding. We've done that. And write questions you may have asked. So we finished last week's sheet. So if you've done all that, we finished it. I know you haven't. You're probably going to do it afterwards. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up now to have a little bit of a chat. And then we're going to move on to the next section where I'm going to go through things like drip, tiers, pricing options, media types, and a lot of other stuff. So we've still got a lot to do. Okay, let me just, right, you should be able to unmute yourself. So if you've got any questions.
Diana had a question. Diana at Faith had a question way back.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
John. Thank you, John. Hi, David. It's Diana.
Hi,
I'm
Diana.
asking. Hi there. Thank you so much. This is so helpful. You're an excellent teacher. Thank you.
I know I'm going quite fast. There's lots, but yeah.
I love that it's recorded because we can revisit it. My question is, it may be off topic. Feel free to say so, but I would like to know if you have anything available already, or if you touch on how we structure our content for information flow. So you're teaching us the mechanics on how to smartly put together this, but as you're showing your template and you're showing how your brain works when you're thinking about information flow, do we have a resource available for that?
Well, it really depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, in a way, if you want to, the course access page, which showed that curriculum that is a dynamic block and it goes in there, but you could delete that out and do what you like. So if you wanted to, you could create some nice flow, sort of some flow charts going through the course, and then you could have a little button there that goes to the correct lecture. So you could create it yourself. You could put it in there yourself. And as we start to work on things like the membership pages, that will be really important. So a lot of people have, I'll give you an example. One guy, he wanted a video library, but it was on different categories. So he had video library for different categories. So it was like a membership site, but he wanted people to be able to jump to different areas and see different videos. So he created a bundle, which we're going to do, and he had all his sections, he had all his video categories on one page, and people could click them and jump through to an area. So that was the way that he had his user flow running through it. Now, if you have done the NZ Masterclass bundle, you'll also notice that in there, I've used things like HTML under the videos, where you're able to click a button and go back to the main page, because the NZ Masterclass bundle is a bundle, but it contains 7 courses. So being able to manage that and be able to navigate smoothly around so the user doesn't have a bad experience was why I added those buttons into the curriculum page. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I'm developing what some people call, a journey or a path with different stages. So that's helpful. I'll check the masterclass. Thank you.
Yeah. The journey is, it's quite a big one. And I think it's like I said, although I've put these courses out over 7 weeks, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be longer. If we need to spend time, a lot of you guys want to find a different method of doing things, then I'll just set a workshop up for it. It's not a problem. So I'm making sure that you're getting the information you want going forward, all of you, because it's important. It's important, and user flow is important. Some people don't like the way the curriculum's sort of laid out. We are always changing things, updating, but we do give you the flexibility of removing these dynamic blocks and creating your own. The drawback is that you have to update it. If you've gone into the NZ Masterclass bundle, you'll notice under the main curriculum, there's another FAQ block where you can open the whole curriculum up. What I've done in there is I put the title and then I put the description that's inside the lecture. The reason I did that was so that you could easily search on the keywords, and you've got more chance of hitting the keywords with more description in there. So, but I could have got rid of the top curriculum and just put it in there. But the drawback of that is every time I add a new video to any of the videos in the complete guide to Zenler, I have to manually go in and make sure that that text is in there and it's linking up with the correct lecture. So there's drawbacks, there's pluses and minuses, and we're always trying to improve on the dynamic blocks and give you maybe more flexibility in the design of things like the course player. Okay, so any other questions?
Bertie had a question about courses and categories. Can courses be shown in several categories?
Yeah.
And categories kind of like the way you would organize a blog categories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like I mentioned. Like I've got I've got all my courses under ZBrush, but I've also got the courses under different things as well. So yeah, you can jump around. To add a course category in here is really easy. So let me just share my screen quickly. Oh, I need to set it up. Yeah, I'll be showing you that. I'll be showing you that when I do the thing, but you can basically select the categories that you've put in here. So I need to manage the categories. So you go into there, it says manage categories, and that will take you through to the category page where you can start adding your categories. So I'm gonna call this, for instance, I'll call it surfing. Notice also that we have a URL being formed here as well. So this will give you access to that URL. So if I put surfing in there, and I don't jump out of it too quickly. There we go. So we got that. So I'm going to do another one now. I'm going to go and put this in beginners surfing. Okay. And I'll take this. It will create it automatically if I hit add category. Oh, no, it won't. It should do. So never put spaces, always use hyphens. Okay, so that's given me there. So I've got two categories now. Now, if I go back to the course and we jump into that course and I go to categories, now I can add it there and I can add it there. That's it. And then update. Is that clear?
Yes.
So I jumped around a bit there, but it's kind of like you go into the course details, manage categories, and that's where you can manage the categories. You can also click on the little X and get rid of those categories as well.
I had a question. You mentioned in passing when you were talking about the course access page about being able to add in links to PDFs that people could download.
Yeah.
I'm presuming that that would come, like if you have the dynamic block for the course curriculum, it would be underneath that block. You couldn't insert it in there.
You can't insert it into the course curriculum block, but you can put it above it. You can put it below it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can get rid of the course curriculum block and manually make your own. That'll all, you'll understand that when we start talking about one-page membership sites. That'll all be really clear what's going on. And that's the key here, to make it clear that you understand what's going on with the system. Then you can, it's limitless what you can do. If you can understand the mechanics of what's going on in the site, like I'm saying to you, that's what really emphasize course access page. You're only able to get to that page if you've bought it or you've added them. You know, you as an instructor have added a user to the course. That's the only way you can get to it. So that's why I highlighted that, because it'll make a lot of sense in workshops following from this. So any more questions? I think, Steve, have you got a question?
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah, I do have a question. Great training, by the way. I've actually started my website for everybody to know. So when he talks about like page builder and all that, once you start doing that, it makes sense with the courses. So I had a question around cloning. And I understand saving blocks and then going to custom blocks. That was very understandable for me. The question is, I have multiple courses that might be at the same price point, a lot of similarities, changing the content. From a workflow standpoint, is there a way or a recommended way? Should I do the custom blocks, or is there a way, like especially once I set pricing and everything, to kind of clone an entire course?
Yeah,
you know, just the whole thing. And is that something you could show us real quick? Is something to do?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. I mean, it's super easy. You just go to courses. Okay. When you've created your course and you're happy with it. Right. Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. If you have a series of courses, what I like to do, just for speed, is create that course and then make a sales page like covering lots of different courses. So I'll have a new call to action block. I'll have a new title at the top, and then I use that, and then I clone it, and I delete out the blocks I don't need. It saves messing around. You can work in one page, and you can just take those blocks out where you don't need them. But to clone the course, if you've got a course here, you just click these little three icons, and you just click here. So the three little dots, click clone, and it will clone the course for you. So there you go. So you need to rename a few bits. Just look through here, change this to another image that you've got, maybe advanced surfing, change that to advanced. And there you go. And it's that quick.
I missed where the three dots were.
Right.
Maybe
it's all right.
Covering
under courses, and you'll see them in there.
Oh, I see him now. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Pick course,
Yeah, and I
clone,
can-
got
And I can also delete it out as well. So there you go.
Okay.
Bang.
And then will it flow through all like the pricing page? Is it everything?
No, you need to go in and set the pricing up. Just
Okay.
clone it, go through it as you were creating a course. It'll save you a lot of time because you can just change things like maybe you're changing the colors or just changing the text a little bit. So you're probably going to work through those courses. That's why I was saying if you did one course that's got multiple courses inside it, you could just use that. That can be a quick way of doing it. I did the same thing with this site. Just a quick little off subject a little bit. But if you look down here, we have terms and conditions, cookie policy and privacy policy. I don't like that. I don't like it being 3 pages. I wanted it to just be 1 page. So I've basically taken the content from all of these pages and put them into one. But you wouldn't know it unless you sort of scroll around. So if I click this button here, it's going to take me to the terms and conditions. Up here, you're going to see that I have quick jump menus down to the same page to those areas. So I've put all the copy in 1 page. It makes it much easier for me to go and update this and all those sort of things. And it's all in that same page, but we've got a nice little jump menu that just takes you straight down to where you need to go. So the same idea could work for anything else. It could work for lives. It could work for funnels. You could do an extended funnel and that be your master template, then clone it, delete out the designs you don't want or sections you don't want, and then use that. You could do the same for pages. You could create 1 master page and then you could just clone it and then delete out the bits. Same for the course, same for the lives. Now, I realize this might be confusing to you, but I've tried to give you an example here with just that. Does that help?
No, terrific. Terrific. Makes total sense for me. Oh, great.
Fabulous.
Just to complete that conversation on cloning, if you clone a course, whether it's been published or unpublished, I'm presuming the clone comes in as unpublished.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you haven't, I mean, that's not published anyway, but if I clone it, I need to share. There you go. So you'll notice it's coming, that's the clone. I just created a new clone, but it's unpublished. So if I go back to courses, it's not published. It's just showing a copy. Yeah. And even if this was published and I cloned it, it would still come in unpublished because we didn't want you to clone a course and for it to be public straight away. That could be a nightmare for you. So we always make sure that if you're cloning, they come in unpublished, so they don't show anywhere until you're happy with the content, and then you publish it yourself. That's why there's that big green button there. Does that help? Yep. Good. Any other questions?
David, it's Paula here. Could I ask a question about when I add my, or rather when I enroll students in a course, is there a way of changing the order in which the courses appear in their dashboard? Because at the moment, they are added chronologically with the most recent added on the left-hand side of the page. And I'd really love it if it was the other way around.
Yeah, I think we've had this problem before. I'm not sure. I mean, I played around with it. As we move into the membership and we're starting to put multiple courses into bundles, you're going to see what I'm doing. So it will sort of be shown to you. But there was a thing like if someone bought a course, then it always, and then they bought another course, the other course would appear in front of it. I'm not sure that still happens. I might have to check into it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That's okay. Jackie?
Hi, David. I have a quick question. I've seen where some people on their homepage have the course curriculum and the modules kind of listed in like an outline that you would get, so they can't access it, but yet they have a sense of what the course will look like. Is there a way that we can do that so they're not entering the course, but they see that, I guess, the homepage?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens with the sales page. When we go through to the sales page, you see the you see the curriculum outline below. Like I said, you could put these, you could put this anywhere. You know, if you couldn't take that curriculum because that curriculum's built into the course, so you can't take that curriculum and just put it into the homepage. You would have to manually create that, and that's what a lot of people do. They don't use the curriculums built in by the dynamic block. They actually create their own. And then if you've created it yourself and it's not a dynamic block, you can copy that code and put it wherever you like. And then you could put another one in there. So you could do, I'll show you my site next week and it will be clear because I've done some quite complex things. They're actually easy, but I've gone away from the dynamic side quite a lot just because it wasn't giving me the right feel. I wanted things to be a bit clearer to students going through things. So I'll demo some stuff, especially in the last week when we finish these workshops. We'll hopefully you guys can show all your sites and we can go through things because there will be small things that you're just trying to sort of nail. And I can also show you the things that I've done as well. I mean, you know, it's because I do coding and programming and stuff, there are things on there that you might not be able to do just because you don't code. But if you look in the Ninja Tricks course, I've tried to supply lots of the techniques in there. And I've tried to make it really simple so it doesn't blow your mind. But we'll talk about that later.
David, when you do that custom curriculum listing, is it possible to show an estimate of how long each lesson might take? Like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours?
What, for me to do it?
Sorry, no, for the students to go through the curriculum content.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a timing thing. That was a question that was asked. And that was like, you know, can people see how long a video is? So our answer was, and I think we're kind of working on it, but our answer was actually to put it into the curriculum itself. So let me just share my screen. It's a good question. So if I have a video in one of the curriculum pieces, say I've got it in here, this introduction, what I could do is I could put a runtime in here. So I could put 20 minutes, 30, something like that. And then just save it. And then it's going to appear in there. So when they go to the course access page, course curriculum, they're then going to see inside that area that it's going to say that time. Yeah. 30 minutes for that lecture. Or you could put it into the copy itself. When we start putting a video in there, underneath it, you could put in a little text block saying this video run time is 20 minutes, or it should take you 10 minutes to do this. Or if you've got a PowerPoint slide where you want people to do things, again, you could put that in the slide itself. So you can put it in there, but I think it's something that we're working on to show timings on videos and things.
Yeah, and it's not just the video. If there's an assignment, for instance, you say, oh, I want to say, you know, spend like 30 minutes on this. And so in the curriculum listing, I want to have for every lesson how long they should be taking. So they could look through it and say, oh, okay, this thing is going to take me, you know, 30 hours to complete the whole course, as an example.
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess you could put it in here, or you could, in the assignment, you could actually put it on the title. So it would be in there. This should take you half an hour. Or...
Yeah, it's not quite getting to what I need to do.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I think Bosco had a question as well.
Right. Okay. Bosco?
Hi. Sorry, David. The question I have is, you know, the curriculum where the whole all your lessons and modules are listed. Is it possible, like it's foldable in the sense, because I have 200 videos, so when I put the list, so for somebody to get down to the payment page, it seems like, I mean, it's so long. So I'm wondering how I can shorten it, or you know what I'm saying? I'm saying I got 16 modules, and inside each module I've got lessons, like 10 lessons each. And when I list it all, it's like, it's such a long page. You know? That's That's my problem.
Yeah, I think collapsible menus, setting it in there. I don't think that it's in there, that it can be collapsed. I might be wrong. Let me check into that. I've got exactly the same. I've got a course that's got about 390 videos in it, and it's really long. So what I did was I deleted it out. I deleted it out and just created a manual version. That's what I was saying earlier with changing some of the way the blocks worked, and then I could just link to it. And also, like if you look in the NZ Masterclass bundle and you go into Complete Guide to Zenler, you'll see at the bottom that's a manual. I've put that in manually, so you could delete the curriculum out and just manually link it up, changing the format.
I will try to look at that training and see.
Yeah, because you might want to use like four columns. That would then compress everything back up. Or you might want to do what I did and use the FAQ block. So let me just share this with you just to show you, kind of jumping a little bit off topic, but it's fine. So hold on, let me just jump in here.
Fuck.
Let me go to bundle. Okay, so if we go to the complete guide here, you're going to see down here, this is the curriculum block, and it's massive. Look, it goes right the way down. But at the bottom, you're going to see that I've got this here, and it is an FAQ block. So it opens up, and that gives all of the information, exactly the same information, but it includes the description. So that's how you could do it, Bosco. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. Right. Margaret, have you got a question?
No, I'm doing a, yeah.
You've got your microphones.
I'm sorry.
Lovely. All right, guys.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm sorry, my mic was off. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get on with the next bit now. So I'm going to be doing another Q&A at the end, but I need to get through the next bit of the workshop. So hang on in there, and I will be back with the Q&A at the end, because with the Q&A I can just end it when it ends, but I'm limited on time here. So I've got to get on with it. Right. So let's jump back here. And what we're going to do now is we're actually working through the second part, which is next week's stuff. So in this one, I've got, have you completed week's one work? So choose your pricing plan. So I'm going to go through pricing plans. I'm going to go through drip, tiers, or bundles. I'm just going to explain bundles to you, and I'm going to explain drip and tiers. We're going to talk about SEO for your pages. This is something that you should do, so that you should actually do this for all your pages, not just the course pages that we're working on now. And also, are you having courses by category? So think about that. We've talked about that. So to automate or not. So if you want to use built-in system emails that go out saying you've enrolled for a course, congratulations, then you could use the system email, or you can override it and use your own automations for email. So the first one we're going to look at, we've got tagging in here and here, but the first one we're going to look at is choosing your pricing plan. So guys, think very carefully about how you want to price your course. If you are thinking about adding it to a membership plan, then don't think about it at this stage. We can just cover that when we set the memberships up. So it's one less job for you. But inside your course, you have the option to go into pricing, and you can add a new plan. So inside here, we have free, which is obviously free. We have one-time purchase, we have subscription, and we have a payment plan. Now, the only way you're going to be able to activate any of the paid methods is making sure that you've activated Stripe or PayPal in your system. Okay, it's really important. If you haven't, it's not going to work. So under integrations here, make sure that you have Stripe or PayPal so that you can actually take payment. If you haven't, it won't work. So under pricing now, let's just jump into these and add a few pricing options. So I've got free. So if I wanted to offer this course for free, why might you do this? You might have a small course and then you've got a massive large course and you want people to take the free one to draw them in so that you can sell them the large one. That's a simple way of using free. So if we go to free, we can type in here. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to call it free and description free course. Okay, so this is the button. So it's saying free here. So you could have buy now or this is free, grab this. You could put what you like in there. You can also add bullets. So underneath you can actually add little bullets giving features of the course. So you can also set availability as well. So you can set availability from the enrollment and the close of the enrollment. So before that time, they will not be able to buy it on the free plan. And after that time, they will not be able to buy it. So you can set an availability. Course validity as well. Courses will be available from the date of enrollment till the given here. So you can actually put enrollment date and then say 30 days and it would run out after 30 days. So that's course availability. Lots of these options will be the same in some of the different pricing plans. Next we have tiers. Now I'm going to explain what tiers is. If you have say 3 sections in your course, you could set up 3 different tiers. So you might have section 1, section 2, section 3, and there might be videos and things in each of those sections. You can actually set a tier to only give people access to maybe section 1 or section 1 and 2 or section 3 or section 1 and 3. It's up to you. You could set that tier option in there to give people access to only that part. Why would you do this? You might have one big massive long course and you just want to open certain sections. So if I was using something like the Complete Guide to Zenler, where we have lots of sections like nurture and engagement, and we also have marketing, I could open a tier up saying marketing section, and that would just be the marketing section, and then I could set up another one for engagement and nurturing. So and also people use it for things like bronze, silver and gold packages. So it could be one course. If you're bronze, you've got the minimum. If you're silver, you've got more content. If you're gold, you've got even more content. So it's a way that you could actually do one course and set up different pricing options based on tiers within that course. Next thing we've got down here is communities. So you can set up a community, you can manage communities, add a new communities, and you can make that course part of the community so that the students in the course will be able to go to that community. For instance, if you've got a beginner's guide to surfing and you've got a community, beginners community, you could then tie the two up so that you get people. If I had an intermediate course, I could have a community for intermediates as well. So it's not just one community, you could set up multiple. And you can also make it the most popular plan as well. So if you've got 3 free plans, then you can make one of them more popular by checking that box there. So that's it. That's really simple for free. And then all you do is click finished. So now it's been added, you can see it in there. It doesn't mean we can't add any more, but I want to just show you what's happening to the sales page now that we've done that. So now we've added a price option in there. What you're going to see down the bottom is you have a pricing option because it's free. It's in there. So that's worked. That's actually shown us that. So let's go and add a new pricing option. Let's go and choose one-time purchase. So click next and let's choose a currency type. And put 50 in here. Call it a special deal. I'll keep all those. Again, the same options as we had before, so I don't need to say that. And I click finish. Okay. And I'll jump back to the page to preview it. And now we have 2 options. Let's add a new one. I'll jump to payment plan because subscription is a little bit more tricky. So here we go. So we've got a payment plan. So I can put in here 50 and I could have 2 installments of and should have to say set additional fee. So you could set an additional fee there and additional one-time fee. So yeah, let me stick back here. So installments, the total price is 50. Installments 2 would be £25 each installment over 2 months. You can set that whatever you like in there. Again, you can name it. So we got it to stage plan. Okay. Description by now. Again, you can set bullets, set availability, set tiers, set community. And we have another thing here called set additional fee. So if you mouse over here, this is the additional fee, setup fee, that will be charged immediately on purchase. If trial days are set, the additional fee can be used for paid trials as well. So you could do that as a paid trials and not subscription, but you can set an additional fee. So this could be really handy. A lot of people ask for this because like people that are running art groups, they might want to sell people like an art set. So you could take an initial fee. So you could take an initial fee maybe of £25 or something, and then that would apply for the first billing period. Yeah, because this is installments. If it was £25, the initial fee, the first one would be 25, 50, and then the next week would be, the next month would be £25, making that figure in there. So this is installments. Some people don't use it at all, but you can set as many or as little installments as you want, and it's pretty much the same. So if I click finish now and we jump back and we refresh, you're going to see that we have there 2 payments, £50 per month. So let me just click buy now, make sure I'm not feeding the wrong information. Yeah, sorry guys, if I was charging £50 in total, I would be dividing it by 2, so it would be £25, but it's not a problem because I can go into edit and I can just enter 25 in there and update. And this is why these sort of things is why it's really important to go in and test and look, see what's actually happening to make sure that you're doing the right thing. So if I refresh this now, you're going to see 2 payments, £25, which equals £50, which is what I wanted to charge. So that is that done. So I need to refresh that and it will say £25. There we go. Good. So last one I've got to do is the subscription. Now, for you guys that are running membership sites, this is a big one for you. So again, we have the additional fee. You can bill different times, so monthly, yearly, daily, weekly. Obviously the name in there, we've got set trial days. So you can set an amount of trial days. So someone can go in trial days, you can give them trial days, maybe 30, so a month. And they can get free access for, so you can go an additional fee here and I can put 0. So I've put additional fee on, okay, and I've put 0, and that's going to apply to this trial days of 30. So they're not going to pay anything. But after that time period, you could then charge them £50 a month. So it gets complicated. We're going to cover this more in the membership side. But just if you're using it in its basic form, you could just say, I want to charge £50 a month or whatever you like in the currency that you choose, and put the name in here. So I'm going to call it subscription, and I'll leave everything the same, and I'll just click finish. Right, and refresh. So now we have a subscription, £50 per month. Okay, if you click that, you're going to see in there. By the way, guys, if you click through, you're going to also see all the different options that you have there, so people can switch if they need to. So it says £50 a month for all billing, and it's billed per month. All right. So that is pricing. We're going to be looking more at that. For this particular course, I'm just going to set it up as a one-off payment of £50, but we'll be playing around with this later when we create the membership sites, so it's going to include subscription. And depends on what you want to do. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions on prices because it's a very important one. So moving from there, we have course option, drip, tier, or bundle. So I've talked about tiers. Bundles are adding courses to another course. So you've got a course bundle. So it's a bundle that you set up, and you might have multiple courses. You can drop them into the bundle. A way of looking at that is exactly what we've done for the NZ Masterclass bundle, where that's exactly what happens with this. So this is one course called, one bundle called the NZ Masterclass bundle, and inside there are separate courses. There's more to this because I've actually deactivated the checkout pages on all of these courses because I wanted to make sure that no one got into any of these courses without getting into the NZ Masterclass bundle. This will be covered in the membership when we talk about it. And understanding that the only page that people can see, the public pages, sales, checkout, thank you page, if I was to delete everything out of there, no one could buy that course. So that's the logic behind what I'll show you on the membership side. So bundles, basically, to get to bundles, you come into here. So you go to courses, bundles, and in here you can create a bundle, and that basically becomes a box. It has a sales page, it has a checkout page, it's a thank you page, it has a course access page, but on that course access page will show any of the courses that you've put into the bundle, okay? Just like the NZ Masterclass bundle. So that is bundles. So hopefully that's clear. It will be clear when we get into memberships because that's all about bundles. SEO all of your pages. So this is really important. And I'm going to show you the principle. I've actually done some videos on SEO, but I'm going to go into the course and we're going to look at the SEO now. So I'm going to go to the pages. I'm going to go into the sales page, which is probably the most important SEO page to do. I do them all. I'm just in the habit of doing every single page. I do the thank you page, I do the checkout page. I even do pages that are not accessible, like the course access page. I can't help myself. That's just how I always work, just SEO everything up. I can't stop myself from doing that. My little, so here we go. So this is a sales page. So you notice when we first saved this page, we had that box come up with SEO. You can also get to it there. So we cancelled it. We just clicked done. We didn't fill out the SEO. We just closed it. But if you come up to this little arrow here in the right hand corner, you've got all these settings down here. Now, a lot of them are like this editor preference and the version history and tracking code. Tracking code you might use. Page settings is useful. Have a look. They're pretty self-explanatory what they do. But the important one here for me, the biggest one, is the SEO. So if I click that, this is what comes up. And this is really important because you'll notice here it says SEO preview. Right, now your job, your homework, apart from getting the pages done, is also to go through and start to fill these SEO bits up. So I'm going to show you kind of how to do it. Let's start with the basic one. Right, with SEO, what you're looking for is you're trying to get on the same level as someone that's trying to buy your course. Okay, so you want to be featuring what's called keywords. These are words that people are going to type into search engines. So try and put yourself in, if you were looking for your course, what are they going to put? I might put something like beginners courses in surfing in the UK. So that could be something, and there'll be people hitting that. So you want to try and think that way, and that will be the title. And in the title, you want to try and put that into the copy as well. Now, do not make this too long. Another thing you can do is when you're writing the content, you need to bear this in mind, and you need to try to make sure those keywords are in the main content as well. Okay, and that will help with the SEO of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my document that we created for the course details. Actually, I can come down here, and I'm just going to grab a bit of this text. Yeah, I'm not saying this is what I'm doing now is right, but I'm taking some of this stuff. I'm giving you the principle just so I can fill it out. So in SEOs here, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to paste that in there. That's really long. I don't want to go that long. I try and keep it quite short. So I bring it up a bit here. You'll also notice that I can scroll up. I've got Grammarly on here, which is always a good thing to put on. I'm going to take this text here, get rid of it. Okay, so if I was looking at this, I spend a bit of time with the SEO and think, how can I get this word, if this is my key search word, how can I get it into that text, that the text is not too long? Yeah, this is quite good. It's not too long. It's not too short. But I try and get these same words into here and make sure that those words are in the main copy of the page as well. This is just something, it's very tricky with SEO stuff. It's its whole thing on its own. But try and think like that if you can. So next we have meta keywords. So meta keywords are keywords, again, that search engines look at and go, oh, I know what your page is about. So do they tie up with the copy? Is everything linking up? And I generally put between 5 and 10 keywords. They can have spaces in them. Each keyword set needs a comma between it. So I'll start off with something like, oh, not that. That's a bit, you don't want to do that for sure. Put the whole thing in there. Let's take this, copy, and drop that in there. And then I put a comma, okay? And then I put the next keyword. So surfing in the UK, then a comma, online surfing UK, another comma. Beginner's guide to surfing. You get the idea, and then another comma, and just finish it as it's a finished, yeah? So if I'm finishing that, I don't put a comma at the end, I just leave it. So that's my keyword. So that's my title, my meta description, and my meta keyword. So as one of the jobs, SEO your pages, I suggest if you haven't done this on your site pages, that you do it on your site pages. Right, last thing that leaves us is the social image. So if we click here, we're going to be able to select or upload an image. So I'm going to go and upload our little guy that's in blue, and I'll put him in there. And you're going to notice, again, this is HD size, but I can just crop this. That's why I just use HD. And I click crop and upload, and that's going to appear here. And now I've done it. Now, if you don't do this on your sales page, if you don't SEO the page and put an image in there, then when you post it to something like Facebook, you could have anything. You'll normally have a little picture of you guys might have seen it, a little laptop with like a little graph. That's our default image that we've put in there. We expect you to SEO all your pages, okay? So when you're finished with this, you can click done. Now, something to draw your attention to here is you have a little button here that says on show in search results. Now, Jackie, I think you were asking about this. If you don't want it to show in search results, then just uncheck it like that, okay? It doesn't always work. Some of the craftier search engines will spider, what's called spidering or crawling. They'll crawl your website anyway, and they'll disregard that it's off. But what this does do by turning it off is it will not be featured in your sitemap. And that's the sitemap is where places like Google go to look at all your pages, all your courses, you know, the basic structure of your site. So if it's turned off, that can help avoid being found on any of the search engines. But if you're happy with it, leave it on for sure and click done. That's it now. This page is SEO'd, and you need to do that on all of your pages, all right? And you need to do it on all your site pages, and you need to do it on any page, whether it's a funnel. You need to make sure you're doing this consistently. Otherwise, you can get very unpredictable results if search engines pick up on it. And especially if you share it to social media, you can get just weird things coming up. So control it all by setting your own SEO. That's really, really vital. All right, what's next? Okay. So
David, can I ask a question about the the meta tags that you used, where you use phrases?
Sorry, John, can you give me a second? Hold it in,
Yeah.
hold it in your head, and ask me in a minute, because I'm running out of time here. Right. So we've done courses by categories. Next one is automation. So when someone signs up for your course, you can automatically send them an email from the course, and there's lots of automation rules that you can set it by. You can use the built-in system emails that go out saying, congratulations, you've enrolled in course, and then whatever the course is, but it's very simple. We do, well, if you want to be serious about this, you want to make sure that you're automating and writing out all your own copy for every part of it. So course automation is really important here. So that would be under automation. And we've started you off. Guys, look at the live workshop on funnels, because I show how automation's all set up in there, and it shows lots of stuff. We will be covering more of this next week, but what I'm asking you to do is think about a sequence of email. If you've got a course and you want to send out a custom response to someone signing up for your course, write the copy down. Right, later on you can add more to it, because we have a lot of options. We can send an email out when someone finishes lectures, finishes the course, so course completion. So you might want to think about how you want emails to go out from enrollment and from their journey through the course. And if you write all your emails out in advance, we can put them in next week when we start to add our automation rules in there. I start to show you what I've done and how it all works. But definitely check out the funnels and forms, because I show you lots of how to use automation in there. It's also in a complete guide to Zenler as well, so it gives you an idea, a feel for it. So that is automations. It's a big one. We will be covering more of that, and that's why I said to you with the course creation part 1 and 2, might be a case that we have a course creation part 3, and then everything else gets pushed down, just because there's a lot to cover, and I want to make sure that you understand it all. So next thing is we have here, are you tagging your students using automations, and do you want to? So this is really just a question for you to think about. If you have, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you have an enrollment date for students, so you've set on the pricing plan an open enrollment date for all of March, and when those students come in, you might want to tag those students. So you might want to actually put in their students March, so you can easily sort them later. So you might then, after that enrollment is finished in March and we're starting April, you might want to set a new tag up for them, for all the new students in April. So this way you could actually sort and filter your students of your course really easy using tags. Okay. So we use tags a lot in forms, funnels. Again, I've done the funnel workshop, forms workshop in the live workshop in the NZ Masterclass bundle. That talks all about that, and we will be doing it as well. So I'll be showing you. But at the moment, this is just for you to think about. Yeah. So just think about it all. Right, the last one I've said here is, and this is really important, is make sure that you have a payment method set up in your platform. So if you're a free user, you get the option to set up Stripe. If you're Pro Premium, you have the option at the moment to set up Stripe and PayPal. So it's up to you whether you want to use one or you want to use both of them. And when you've finished and thought about all those points there, just sign them off and check this off. And that next week there'll be a new sheet with the following week's stuff for you to do. All right, I think that is it. So I'm going to open up to some questions because we've got a little bit of time. Got any questions?
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
A lot. It's not as bad as it seems, John, because I will be running through this stuff. Just look at the PDF and just maybe use the video, have a look. If you don't understand it, great. That's a question for next week. You know, and I'll be running through those anyway.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, Kevin?
Yeah. David.
You know the installment plan, you were talking about the installment plan, 2 installments. Oh,
Payment
sorry. uh, uh, it- should I go on with my question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. If I make it 2 installments or 3 installments, can we, I mean, if let's say a student pays 1 installment, the second installment he doesn't pay, can we set something where the cost gets cut off, or do we have to do it manually?
No, right, okay. So I'm going to cover a lot on payment plans and subscriptions inside of the membership side of things. But if someone doesn't pay the payment plan, you will get an email of it, but they should be removed. I know on I don't know entirely, Bosco, I will find that out. I know with subscriptions that if they don't pay, they get cut off from the course. Once they finish their subscription time and then it's charging, it will cut them off if they haven't made a payment. And I'm pretty sure that the same thing would happen with payment plan as well.
Thank you.
I've got a question. I've got an annual subscription, and I want people to be able to join halfway through the year. And I was thinking that you mentioned before a trial period, and I was thinking, could you use the trial period and add an initial payment? So let's say the annual fee is 300 and I want them to be able to join 6 months through. Could you say a 6-month trial period with an initial fee of 150?
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yes. Yeah, it should do in principle. Tomorrow.
Fabulous.
Let me run some tests with that. I'm working up, you guys come up with all sorts of things. So let me do a test of it, but tomorrow that should work. That should work.
Fantastic.
Fine.
Thank you.
David?
Hello.
Hello. Hi, this is Martina.
Hi, Martina.
I've got a question for you. Are you able to discount in the fee section? Like for the first course that I'm offering, it's a 30-day course, but that course is going to be used continuously for other students who are going to be enrolling. But I want to offer a special pricing and be able to discount it to show them that this is an actual discount for taking this course for the next 30 days. And after 30 days, then it would go to the original price.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that using coupons. So inside the course, you could come down to coupons here, and you could create a coupon. You could create the coupon and you could do an expiry on the coupon. You could also apply it to the first billing only. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are offering a 50% on the first month, you could put 50% in there. And then what would happen is after the first billing, it would then revert to the full price, which is what you want to do, I think.
Yes. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that does it. Also, tomorrow, by the way, you could do it using coupons. If it was 300, you could give them a coupon for 50% off the first billing.
And yeah, okay. So thank you. Yeah, but then the first period wouldn't be right because it's a 6-month initial.
Oh yes. Well, actually, no, because you could set apply discount for X amount of months.
Okay.
So after that period, they would then be paying the full price.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
All these things, I'll just make a word of warning here. All these things you should test. So test it does work as you expect it to.
But how would you actually test it, given that it's like such a long period of time?
Don't worry. I'm going to go through the testing phase when we publish the course.
Okay,
I'm
brilliant.
going to cover all the options of adding, actually enrolling, taking a coupon discount from it. All these things we're going to run through.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's two options there. Two ways that you could do your particular thing. You'll find in there, if you get sort of used to using some of the things like the coupons, some of the options like initial fees and free trial days, you'll start to kind of understand the system, but it does take a little bit to get your head around it. I still get confused by it, and I'm like, oh, well, can you do that? Yeah, you should be able to. You have to kind of work it out for yourself sometime. Good. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, David, the question I was going to ask about the phrases that you put in the meta thing for the SEO.
Mm-hmm.
If you use a phrase of 4 words, for instance, with spaces in between, does the search engine, and I as a user, do I have to enter that phrase exactly, or could I enter 2 of those 4 words and it would still find me?
Sometimes it's difficult to know what the search engines are going to do. They look at a lot of things. If you've got it hooked up to things like Google Analytics, they'll look at how many page views, and that'll give you a different ranking. They also will look at things, or they will not look at things like that are called stop words. So things like to, is, a, do. It doesn't pick up on those words. It picks up on the main functions. A lot of people actually leave them out, including me. So I'll put something like, I'll leave those stop words out and just have those keywords in there as opposed. But it's a balancing act. The algorithms that Google uses constantly change. There are people that try and find out what they're doing to find the best combinations. But I found, like Google have said, like a long time ago, is just be honest with what you're doing. Don't try to trick the system. I remember years ago when I first was doing websites, there was a big thing about, and you guys, some of you might remember this, where people used to put white text on white backgrounds, and this was to pick up on, to try and trip the systems up. So you put all these keywords on a white background, and the algorithm wasn't good enough, and you get high rankings, and everybody was doing it. They were putting links everywhere in there, and but it changes all the time. So try and be genuine and honest with it. Write genuine, unique copy. Make sure that the keywords that you want people to pick up on are in the tags and in the description and in the title. Try not to go overboard with it. I normally put 5 or 6 max of those words in on an article, and that gets me quite good results. And I think that's the best for longevity. That's the best way of doing it. Because you can try and do it, oh, this is what they're doing at the moment, but next week that could change, so it is a game. But the main thing here is that you're putting information in there, and if you socially share that, which you should be doing, then that's the information that the shared link's going to look like. And you don't want it not to make sense, and you want to have control of it. And that's why I was mentioning SEO. And you should definitely check all your pages and make sure you've done it throughout all your pages. A lot of people don't. They'll go, oh no, I won't bother with the cookie policy or the terms and conditions. I won't SEO that. But you should.
David, this is Diana, and I have a question for you. Piggybacking on John's question, I noticed when you were typing in the SEO meta phrases, you would place a comma after the phrase, and then you would immediately type the next phrase with no spaces.
Yeah.
That's how I set that up. Okay, thank you. Now, my main question here, jumping topic, I'm on your pro plan, so I don't know if this is a question specific to me or to all users, but I'm on the thank you page, the course thank you page, and I have a dynamic block there, and in the upper right, it says add upsell. Will you be covering that in a future video, how we can take advantage of adding upsells and how it's going to affect pricing?
Yeah, actually, I meant to. I meant to put it down. So yeah, I want to cover bumps and upsells. I've actually written it into next week's workshop. So yeah, we'll cover it then. I mean, a lot of the things. I mean, the thing about today was sort of going through some of these things takes time, but actually setting them up is actually really quick. I mean, you saw like probably within 15 minutes, I'd done all those things that I said the week before. So it's actually really quick. The hard thing comes trying to explain it for you guys to understand it, because a lot of you like me, like with my site, I do one-off payments. I don't use any of the subscriptions. I use coupons, yep, and I customize my pages. That's all I care about, and automations. That's all I care about. I have a video and I have a text block. But with this course, what we're trying to do is I'm trying to tell you how to put podcasts in there, PowerPoint, SCORM HTML, different pricing plans. You're getting it all. So your heads are going, and you might not use a fraction of that.
It's great. Thank you so much.
That's all right. So, like, guys, I'm going to wrap up for today. We might end up doing a week 3 of this. If next week I don't feel like you guys have got everything I'm saying, you need to tell me as well. Then I will run it an extra week before we get into the membership side and all that stuff. So you guys let me know. But have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see all you guys next Sunday. Remember, you'll be getting an email of the replay as well, and I'll put the download link to that zip. And John, I will sort out that curriculum and that thing as a template for you guys to use as well. So you've got it all. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, David. This is brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. Thank you, David.
Cheers.